2. The Secret of Life. I was very happy at the university. I worked hard and my professors were very pleased with me. I studied science, chemistry and medicine. I wanted to learn everything about the human body. I also wanted to learn about the mind of man. Most of all, I wanted to learn the secret of life. What was the difference between a living person and a dead body? Why did a dead body turn to dust? Could a dead man come alive again? I worked hard to find the answers to these questions. I read many old books. The writers said it was possible to create life. They said it was possible to make a dead man live again. But the writers did not say how it could be done. I lived in a house in the old part of the city. I had a laboratory there, where I worked alone. No one knew what I was doing. In the evenings I read in my library. Sometimes I did not sleep all night. The months passed and I forgot about my family and my friends. I had only one thought. I wanted to find the secret of life. I went to hospitals and watched men dying. I listened to their cries. I watched their bodies grow old and ugly. I paid men to steal bodies from graveyards. These men dug up the bodies from the ground. They brought them to my laboratory at night. I cut up the bodies. Everywhere I smelt death. Death and blood. People were frightened of me, but I did not care. I knew that death would change them. Their blood would stop moving. Their skin would become wrinkled and yellow. I wanted to help them. I was working hard to find the secret of life. I bought blood from living men. Was the secret of life in the blood? I looked at men's brains, soft and grey. Was the secret of life there? Then, one night, there was a terrible storm. The sky was covered with black clouds. Thunder crashed and the rain fell. Lightning flashed in the sky. Suddenly, the lightning gave me an idea. I knew what I had to do. I began my work carefully. I took parts of dead men from hospitals and graveyards. I put the parts together to make a human body. I was making a man. A huge man. The biggest, strongest man who had ever lived. This man was going to come alive. I had found a way to create life. This man was going to live. He was a good-looking man. His face was handsome and kind. His huge body was strong and well-made. Day by day, I joined each part together. At last he was ready. He was ready to receive life. The body lay on a table in my laboratory. I had joined the hands, feet and head to metal wires. These wires went up to the roof of my house. Now, I had to wait for a storm. When the power of the lightning flashed down through the wires, the man would live. A few days later, clouds covered the sun. The sky became dark. I knew a storm was coming. I opened the windows of the laboratory and waited. Lightning began to flash, and I heard thunder. A flash again, and now the thunder was nearer. Then the lightning was all around me. It flashed blue and silver. Thunder crashed, and the room was as light as day. Suddenly it happened. The lightning hit the wires on the roof. The sparks of light came down the wires. I looked at the huge body. The silver light reached the hands, the feet, and the head. The body was covered with a blue and silver light. For a moment, everything was quiet. Was it moving? No. Yes! An arm moved, and then a leg. Then I heard breathing. Yes! The man was breathing. He was alive. The body moved, and I went nearer. I held out my arms and smiled. The man sat up and turned his head. His eyes were open. Oh, God! What had I done? What had gone wrong? The man's skin was wrinkled and yellow. His eyes were yellow and dry. His thin, black lips opened in a terrible smile. I had not made a man. I had made a monster. I ran out of my laboratory and down the stairs. I heard the slow, heavy footsteps of the monster as he followed me. There was another flash of lightning. Thunder crashed over the house. I stopped and looked back. The monster was standing at the top of the stairs. Behind him were red and yellow flames. Fire! My laboratory was on fire! I gave a terrible cry as the monster moved towards me. Then I fell down, and everything went black.